So the 13th Istanbul Fashion Conference is on the way. We have already finished the opening address. Mustafa Gültepe, Hadi Karasu were together with us under the moderation of Gülkan Şen. Now, one of the major players of the industry, the president of HAKKO, CEM HAKKO, will come. I hope you can hear me. So CEM HAKKO will be together with us. Welcome. I actually would like to give the floor to you, and we're just expecting your call. Yes, please. Thank you. Distinguished Minister, distinguished President of Turkish Clothing Manufacturers Association and members of the board of the association, my dear colleagues and dear guests. I'm actually more than happy to be together with you. It's a different platform that we still continue to communicate. The era that we're living in is actually help us to better make use of the opportunities of the technologies to keep on with the communication, but at the same time helps us to continue with our human values and once again emphasize the importance of solidarity. Actually, we need this more than any time at all. The Turkish Clothing Manufacturers Association, which we are a part as a founding member, is actually an important NGO. For HAKKO family and for the HAKKO brand, that's always been very important. We are going through hard times. Since 1982, I've been the part of the executive committee of HAKKO. We have been through several economic crises, but during those times in particular, our co-workers, our colleagues, our brand actually should not get any negative impact. That's the reason why we always take action. Our priority is always human. Now I'm looking back, and each challenge I can see make us stronger. And we also have lived it in the past, and we take our strength from that. As you know, this year we're going through the pandemics, which is the case for us and for the rest of the world. And as HAKKO, we actually had several short, medium, and long-term plans for 2020, but we have actually significantly revised them as a result of the pandemics. But we were lucky, especially for our group brands. We actually had a great success. And we, by the end of 2019, by 42% of an increase in our net sales, we actually completed a successful and effective year. So we actually have better start for 2020, thanks to the 2019. So we are in safer conditions for this unexpected period. Since March 2020, we've been through the pandemics, and we still have the effects of it. And we continue to be affected from the pandemics. Today, as you all know, I will be discussing about the status quo today for Turkey and for the world. We actually have some new projects that we have started. And I, at the same time, will touch upon a couple of topics that we should do together. But we're just going through a huge test. And as for 2020, before I start sharing what we'll be doing, as the Happy Hat, we started long ago. And at the same time, the 86 years of HAKKO that I will share with you. I have 14 minutes of a video to share with you. The story of HAKKO started with HAKKO in 1934 with Şen Şapka, Happy Hat. A small hat shop. The name turned into HAKKO. Vitaly HAKKO started to use these hand-printed scarves and offered it to the Turkish fashion industry in parallel with the globe. The first factory was founded at Kurtuluş, the first fashion show in 1955 by HAKKO. And the first HAKKO store opened at the heart of Istanbul, Beyoğlu. 40,000 square meters of a closed space for apparel, imprinted fabric at Merter, a new factory established. And at the same time, the paintings of Turkish artists, the very first art gallery within a factory. just an indication of the support and the value attached by Vakko to art. Then Beyoğlu and Ankara at the same time stores. The very first art gallery opened in the stores. The first colored ads on TV, the commercials. In Izmir, Vakko store opened. Several advertisement campaigns all around the country, and at the same time, regular fashion shows. And we actually have more visibility of the brand of Vakko. The 100th birth anniversary of Atatürk, the Anatolian figures, they again combined with the modern design. In Rome, Vienna, Brussels, and Paris, and London, the showcase also exhibited, showed the contemporary Turkish fashion, and Vakko introduced all around the world. The very first concept store of the world and the first youth store of Turkey opened in Istanbul, Vakko. Music, sports, art, all together turned into a youth center in a short while. Same year, Vakko dream. And this dream, the very first place that men and women could actually do sports together. Vakko later every year organized the ski again races, the very first organized on that year. It was actually an enthusiasm and over 1,200 with sailors, the very first sailing contest. And one day a week, again, cultural events at the stores, and the opinion leaders and the major personalities in that world gathered together. A turning point, Vakko is 50 years old. On the 50th anniversary, Vakko renewed its brand identity. Vakko chocolate, the very first time a fashion brand that actually produced chocolate and also be the pioneer for chocolate business. Vakko Katya, Vakko Piu Piu, the fragrances, a fashion brand that actually has its own fragrance brand. And Power FM, one of the first radio broadcast stations, the one that is actually broadcasted the most. And a new store concept up to 47 all around the country with shirts, scarves, Vakko Boutique. Vakko Forest, Vakko Rumeli store, a multi-floor building. The first internet cafe inside it. And the white mansion, Vakko Suadiye store. Vakko and Power FM sponsored the European Aerobic contest and organized in Istanbul. The Power FM DJ, the White Knights, Ricky Martin and Toto Frente took the stage. And the French acrobats, the Power Rodeo show, organized in Istanbul, Ankara, Izmir, Antalya, and thousands of people watched the event. And the public offering of Vakko, the Vakko quoted in the stock exchange. And at the same time, the event organizer of Vakko founded, and a wedding shopping concept. And at the same time, Vakko Wedding that gathers the designs of the global artists. Also designed the suits of the Turkish national team. The very first, again, boat show with 3 million participants watched through the Bosphorus. And the Vakko Golf Cup, Power Hits, the worldwide renowned designers and artists actually wrote together Vakko Roma V2K. By Vakko in Belgrade Forest, for the new beginners and for those who are well trained and for the active athletes, 17 different exercise stations opened, and 6.5 km of walking path opened by HAKKO. By Power, another organization, and its Harbiye open-air theater, Stomp, was watched by 10,000. And a Turkish pop music station, Power Türk. For the young professionals, the W collection introduced. As for the colored, beachwear, a new brat for the beaches, and Vakorama HDO, and 167 boat sail in the Bosphorus, and that's actually a record never broken ever. And also global sailors, the 2005 Sailing Cup. And for the boats and for the yachts, again, HAKKO Cruise founded for yachting. And the American, again, fashioner Akpozen, Giselle Bündchen, the new face of HAKKO, and Olivia Martinez, Jessica Stemp, Frank Ryder, Jessica Miller, Kim Ryder, and Alan Dallon Jr. continued the tradition for the new face. And Daniel Lee Lewis and Becca Miller hosted the worldwide Grand Classic invitation. The same year, the national radio station Radio Phenomen for the age group 12 to 24, that is the station and listen to the most. The HAKKO factory at Mete moved to Esenyurt, while the pieces of art also moved safely. The signature of HAKKO, again for gardens and for the houses and homes, HAKKO Home founded. And at Nakkaştepe moved the HAKKO Fashion Center moved there. By Wallpaper Magazine, the design award for the best working place. And the head designer, Stephen Jones and the accent of fashion fair after the worldwide museums at the HAKKO Fashion Center that we hosted the event. ISTANBUL, the International Festival of Arts and Culture, started under sponsorship of HAKKO. Art, architect, photography, cinema, and that is all the different creativity elements. So Italy HAKKO Creative again Industries Library opened at Nakkaştepe. And as for the future of the fashion professionals, again with the ASMOT, the fashion school of HAKKO opened. Again, HAKKO Zorlu opened that bring art, fashion together, and a new concept followed by the other brands. On the 75th anniversary, 180 business partners joined. And it was actually the magnificent atmosphere that they've been through for 2 days. And at the same time, HAKKO Mare founded the new fragrance infinitive for men with three different infinitive for her and the unisex infinitive for us. Again, offered and for the cosmetics. And in gastronomy in France, that is HAKKO again with the consultants with French patisserie. HAKKO Patisserie opened at Akmerkez. Home fragrance for Eau de Cologne HAKKO and started. Under the sponsorship of HAKKO Roma, Fuetza team performed for the first time in Turkey. And 15 events took place and 15,000 spectacles. And at the same time, all local and national radio stations piled up in that application. And the difference in the appetite and the taste of the HAKKO patisserie, then comes the French cuisine, that is the HAKKO bistro. Quite a brand new, energetic, different menu, HAKKO Roma Cafe. HAKKO Roma sailing team, years after, resailed and ran for championship. Then during the pandemics, VACCO, in coordination with the Ministry of Health, 3 million masks produced. VACCO at the same time, actually working online and offline 7/24. That's actually a brand new platform for the unique experience of VACCO with participation of thousands of people. That is for the very first time in Turkey, and the trunk show online. It's actually a brand new store concept. VACCO 365 opened its stores at VACCO at Canyon. Until 2020, actually, VACCO continued to grow. So 26 VACCO, 47 boutique VACCO, 25 VACCO Roma, 4 VACCO Wedding, 3 VACCO Home, 1 VACCO Chocolate, 13 VACCO Patisserie, 4 VACCO Bistro, 3 VACCO Roma Cafe, 16 Outlet VACCO, 6 VACCO Kiosk, 41 W Collection, 2 Christoffel, and 2 VACCO 365. In total, 192 stores so far under the umbrella of VACCO. Welcome back again. While preparing this movie for you, we just talked about all the different events and the organizations that we had. And even after, actually, we had several materials left that we did not include in the movie, but the life goes on. You know, in 2020, our brand experience guided us. It is all about quick reflexes. The change and transformation are our concepts. Of course, we make some prospects for the world. We're going through some times, but maybe it's actually a great opportunity so as to start a huge transformation. Of course, it is actually, it would be a surprise not to change after this era. I mean, everyone will change, the brands, the industry, our lives will all be improved. We should actually imagine for our new world. We have to think fast. We have to take proper decisions. And we actually have to, we are just tested for this and we continue to be tested. Since its foundation, we have always been a pioneer for several things. And we actually have a breathtaking past. And I am the president of such a brand. Of course, the human health is our concern. And we were one of the stores that closed down all the stores very early at the beginning of the pandemic. Normally, as you all know, not possible to speak about, I think, the president of that is actually happy to close down the stores. But, you know, the pandemics actually made us act differently. And of course, we have concerns for the health of our employees. And of course, as also for the production facility, the 3 million medical masks, surgical masks produced. And so we've actually fulfilled our commitment. Of course, it was actually a single heart for the country. We have to actually unify our spirits, and we were always close to our employees. We use all internal communication, and we have just given our employees the feeling and the sense of being a part of the family. Why? It's not only about economic concerns. It is also very important to be spiritually strengthful. As the executive committee of VACCO, we have provided emotional support, and at the same time, we make them to have assurance for work, so they actually have a safer stand in the world, because we try to keep them away from the feeling that they may lose their job. Rather than dividend distribution, by the end of March, we have just decided to actually provide opportunities for our employees. And we have several Zoom meetings, and we invited over 30 speakers and over 14,000 delegates that we have. In April the 1st, as Power Radio for all medical doctors and the healthcare professionals will have actually also, they made a 12-hour broadcast, and it was quite emotional. It was broadcasted live on radio. And at the same time, all the healthcare professionals, at the same time, those working at the service industry, we provided and announced over our boards. And for all the VACCO friends, we just sent them gifts and presents. We showed them that we're thinking about you. We received thousands of thank you cards. and it was an indication that we touched their heart, and they were happy, so we were happier. During this period, of course, we never stopped the production, especially for the silk, again, quality. We enhance it. Also, we continue with our investments for natural sourcing, and with all the quality and the assembly technicians from Italy. After 14 days of quarantine, they started to work. And two VAKKO, two W collection, two VAKKO boutique and VAKKO bistro, VAKKO outlet, and in total 14 new stores at the same time opened. And for each VAKKO Nişantaşı, VAKKO İstinye Park, VAKKO, again, our entire team is working for opening new stores there. And of course, we support our team, and we ask them actually to create the best collection ever. And they're really working hard, and we ask them to make a very good collection. And we would not like to actually compromise from our production or the design. It's all about actually the value that we give to human. At the same time, during the times that the life turned into normal, and we actually have started to gradually open up the doors of the store, but it was actually the only thing that is visible. Of course, the store, the logistics and all were reorganized already. And at the same time, we just thought about, rather than how we can do business as usual, we thought what type of innovative approaches we can have and how we can actually catch up with this change, even how to pioneer this change. We started to build strategies. So after the quarantine, while opening up the stores, rather than saying we'll continue as we stop, as we pause, we said everything would be different. As you all know, we're just hosting our guests so far at VAKKO stores, so we thought what we can do for them. First of all, at our physical stores, they have actually the mobile cashier desks. And at the same time, we have a new sales system, and that they do the payment and we give the delivery at the door. And VAKKO line, again, VAKKO 724 started as the online platform. VAKKO 724 is actually, is at the same time independent from space and time. This is actually a new understanding, a new platform. So there's actually the entire VAKKO experience is given by a consultant. It's just like a boutique approach. And for the VAKKO friends, so we use the latest technology through WhatsApp. It's especially for personal and for corporate, again, customers. So it's actually a 360 degrees approach. It's not only online, offline shopping, but at the same time, all VAKKO events and at the same time, digital events all done. So it's actually a wide platform that allows for to offer many others. VAKKO 724 provides us a more controlled digital world and provided more comprehensive and more effective service to the VAKKO friends. We're just very proud of this. In parallel to digital transformation, at the same time, we continue. Very important to actually bring a new identity. As you all know, in technology, we're just trying to ease the business, and it's very also important for the future. It's not only shopping experience, but we also should bring the events that we organize at the source to the digital platform, because it offers us the opportunity to make it a part of our lives. As VAKKO, we have the thank you that we organized, we moved it to the digital platform. So once again, I think we catch up with this. So I can say this is just the beginning. Now, if you let me, there is the live show that we actually wanted to do, actually a fashion show. Let's watch it. Due to the bad weather conditions, we've changed it. And you can also watch it in 9 minutes. We'll be back.
Tekrar ben evet şu anda belki daha çok soru var. Geleceklik daha olduğunu unutmamak gerekiyor. Yeni normalin nasıl olacağına dair çok sayıda teori ve tahmin var. Bazıları diğerlerinden daha makul görünüyor. Farklı senaryolara göre esnek yol haritalarımızı oluştururken de geleceğe umutla bakmak mümkün.
We have many questions maybe in our heads, but there are many theories and guesses as to how the new normal is to be. Some look more wiser than the other, and when creating our flexible scenarios, we can be hopeful for the future. What is important is to be able to make analysis that will be sustainable and that will make us ready for all scenarios. The bigger you are, the more damage that probably you have gotten from this challenging period. But with your desire of proceeding and developing, I think you can overcome these challenges. Of course, many of us tend to concentrate on shorter term plans rather than long-term plans. What is important there is to meet the needs and expectations of our customers in this evolving period so that we can be able to go out of this challenging period together. As HAKKO, we have depended on our colleagues who can take the message and convey it to other people. And we have always been in a teamwork as to how we can do better. This has always been the theme for us at all times because we only live what we talk, and we will be exemplary for the rest of the people. And thanks to this perspective, we can overcome all these challenges. As the brand of Turkey for 82 years, we have witnessed many challenges, and we have taken our strength from the challenges. Being aware of this, we know the difficulties that we can overcome together. With the suppliers of HAKKO, we want to work with rather local suppliers. We know that within our boundaries, we have all kind of expertise, and we have everything that we need. And this is something that not only we know, but that the world also has faith in. And now is the time, maybe more than ever, important to create our economy locally. This probably will be facilitated thanks to some common decisions that we take together. With your permission, I'd like to share with you some decisions we have taken in this path. The first, and I think the most important one, is about sales times. Now, the fast fashion understanding triggering fast consumption has changed the calendars, particularly in the last decade. In this era, probably there is a strength that would have a negative effect on quality. And this understanding will have to change, and the seasons will be needed to be limited with 2 seasons only, as in the past. Therefore, the slowdown of the system will have very important and very positive outcomes on the customer. Fast fashion brought about some marketing strategies, and rather than the main and interim season sales, I think the campaigns that have lost their meaning and confidence in the of the customers is no longer used. The fast changing consumer habits also paved us the way of understanding that people want to buy less but essential, and they are ready to buy from the initial price. Sales, of course, are the special times that you can meet with broader customers, but it is and should be the time that the sales should be ruled according to some norms. I think this is really important. Another important thing is the opening and closing times of the shopping malls. I think the habits of consumers must be reconsidered, and these durations need to be revised in a more realistic way. This kind of revision will also contribute to the labor and will contribute to our brands. Pandemics has been a useful time on one hand to rethink about our practices. The changes triggered by the pandemics will push us into being more effective in producing and in consuming, and pushed us into thinking about social work and to be in unity and solidarity, supporting local brands. And this has been a time that we need to rethink about all these norms altogether. It is now the time to fight for this direction as a collective force. Nothing will change overnight, but essentially and eventually the platforms of doing business will change. And all processes that will need to keep pace with this change will be managed as unity and as in solidarity. 2020 undoubtedly will be a page in history in the future. Forgetting about disasters is in the nature of humanity, but I do believe that we will not do it easily and should not forget about the teachings of this period. More importantly, for a stronger ready-wear textile in the future, we need to rethink about our challenges in this period. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you very much, Mr. Hakko. And it's been a very useful, a very exciting presentation, sir. Change was the theme of your presentation. Discovery also was a part of it. Restart, rebeginning also was another aspect of your discussion. As in anything, as an economy, I understand that we are going through a new normal in fashion and in textile as well. But I'm really pleased to hear in your presentation that you have continued with your investment and preserved and maintained your level of employment. It's really useful for Turkish industry. As a personal satisfaction, we watched a magnificent show from the products to the shootings. Everything was brilliant. Thank you very much once again, sir. Mr.